What does success look like for the Dons? And I'm talking long-term success.
The truth is, it will take us into non-league. It's just I don't know when.
You think Dulwich Hamlet sell out Champion Hill? You watch that game.
Imagine what we could do at non-league level.
For me, what non-league gave me is the chance to have a never-ending ceiling where I can always do stuff to make the club stronger. I didn't feel I had that before.
Yeah.
And maybe that is something that you guys find.
Yeah, it's fair. I think that's a fair point. And I think that's the point where we're at. Do you know what I mean? We've had to say everything you're speaking about. We speak about behind the scenes in terms of, all right, cool. Let's just say we pack up and say, you know what, we're going non-league next year. Let's just say we're going to go non-league next year, and we have to enter at the bottom level or whatever. We've had these discussions like, George, we might not be good. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So there's all these options, or then you've got the option of you can get secure investment, and you need to get a ground, and you can go in. So I'd be lying if I said we're not speaking about it, because we are.
How do those decisions get made? Like, you got a board? I think, like, yeah. So myself, is it like everyone gets a vote? Is there some amount of people on there?
So we have a board, which is myself, George, and the answer, and a few other trusted people, and we all make decisions. We're very fortunate to have GDK on board with us as well. We've been fantastic sponsors and hero brands. Puma stuck with us as well, even throughout COVID. You know what I mean? And we've got a real tight knit group of people that all believe in what SC Dons want to do and what our SC Dons ambitions are. And the truth is, it will take us into non-league. It's just I don't know when.
Because if there is a bit of disagreement, like G was saying that you wanted to go down that route, you maybe didn't at one point.
Yeah.
How do you
we balance it out? And I think at the time, more of us opted to stay in Sunday League.
Right.
But you feel like that's maybe the only reason. This was the reason why at the time I felt that way, because I felt like
if also trying to create something.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to. That was another thing. Yeah. But my point was that for it to feel like SE Dons, you would have to do it at that point, because you've got it is the class of '92. It is that. It is those invincible years where you know you're not gonna have that. The amount of personality and talent that we had all in one group. I thought we're not going to get this again.
Yeah.
And that was my whole thing about if we were ever going to do it, why not do it and fail then? But then again, this is why the whole point of a board is we express ourselves and we come to an agreement.
Do you ever have like heated debate, a bit of disagreement, or does it always stay quite calm?
I wouldn't say heated.
It's more you get your point across and then we understand what's best for the football club, because that's what it always is. It's like when you talk about you had the investors coming in and talking about this, and you go, is it really best for the club? No.
Yeah. What does success look like for the Dons? And I'm talking long-term success. I'm talking 10 years from now. Where are you? What you're doing? What's the best case scenario? And then is there a 100 years from now conversation? Is that something you think about?
10 years from now, where do I see SC Dons? I see us in the non-league pyramid, Spence.
Okay.
And I see us. I see the Dons. We have this thing where we really tell people just to dream big. And if you're dreaming and people say, "Oh, you're crazy," or they point at you, you're on the right path.
100%.
Because I could sit here and say, Spence, in 10 years, hopefully we're still one of the best Sunday League teams, and that's a lie. I want us to be in a pyramid. Hopefully, the high national prem pushing on League 2.
Nice.
Now, listen, I understand that. Right now, just saying that with no investors or nothing like that sounds crazy, but we're crazy enough to think
Doesn't sound crazy to me at all.
We love the club, and that's why I'm saying there's so many similarities, so many differences, but so many similarities, because we love this club, and it's also it is our job.
Yeah.
This is our job. It's what we do full time, and where I say in 10 years is definitely that. Have I missed out anything?
Well, what 100 years?
100 years. Oh, wow. Premier
We'll
League.
be dead, bro.
But like, what I mean by that question is like, do you think about that? Like, is it you just look a few years ahead into the future? Like for me, I guess that question comes from it's something I think about, which is like, if someone said to me, you can be in League 2 in 4 years, but I can't guarantee you're around in 6 years. Or I guarantee you right now, in 100 years, hashtag is a non-league team that has a stadium and you're 108 years old, I'm definitely taking the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I speak about this with my dad. My dad speak about it. So it's funny you say that. We do think about that. And I think, imagine in 100 years' time, this thing that we've created, where we will no longer be here, my grandchildren might not even be here, who knows what it is, for a club to be established, SC Dons, where we started in Mottingham playing fields. So now, and our whole journey is Sunday League. You can watch the whole journey. Like we get new supporters now that come, and I saw someone on the train the other day. He came up to me, "Oh, it's Don Schatz." I was just chatting to him, and he's like, "Listen, I started watching you guys 2 years ago." He said that I came across one of your videos and I went all the way back.
Yeah.
and I watched it. So if in 10 years' time, let's keep it at 10. In 10 years' time, if we was in a League Two or National Premier or something, you can actually go back to our first episode where Seal done a madness at Blackfen in some rubbish pitch, and see, wow, this team have come from that to this.
Yeah.
100 years' time to know that SC Dons will be an established club, own stadium, thousands of fans coming every single week, a real community. Like when I grew up, I was playing for Charlton as a kid. I got nephews who play for Ebbsfleet. Like under 9s and under 10s. Then Freddie and Louis, I want to big them up because they probably watch this, and they love SC Dons now. They're at that age, and that's authentic. I didn't force it on them. They at the point they watch the Dons and they know everything about SC Dons. Freddie's like, I want to come and play, and we haven't got that platform for them. We haven't got kids youth teams, so I had to have kids youth teams and everything that we could do. We've done so well at just Sunday League level. Yeah. Imagine what we could do at non-league level.
I think it'd be wicked. And even better if you end up in non-league, because I think we definitely will play each other.
Yeah.
Based on where you are in the world, I'm pretty sure if you got to our level, we'd be in the same league as well.
100%.
Which should be, I would love that. And people probably think I'm bullshitting. I'm telling you right now, that is a game that guaranteed
honestly,
people through the door.
You don't understand what that would do.
I reckon the numbers would be outrageous, man.
It'd be unbelievable.
You think Dulwich Hamlet sell out Champion Hill? You watch that game.
But you know what also is, like, and again, we talked about it earlier with how it's taken a bit of time for people to get used to the hashtag being non-league or whatever. Like people like you, and I know that obviously Rising Ballers, it's different because they took. I don't know if you'd ever considered this, whether you'd take over a club to beat the system a bit.
We have spoken about that, but again, it's about identifying the right club. Then you have to make an offer and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So there is, we really have looked at it. The differences in buying a club and going in at the very bottom. We're just weighing everything
I
up.
personally, I'm biased, but I love the idea that we didn't do that. I know we've merged with other teams.
Where we are. That's where we are. Because we spoke about it the other day. Kind of. Because look, Spence, I don't want to say too much, but we are having these discussions. Yeah. And one thing that G did say, and Andy was speaking about, is the beauty in having our journey so authentic, as in, you could buy a club, but then you take their history and you've got to change the name and all of that kind of stuff.
You've got to deal with that,
as opposed to doing it ourselves.
Yeah,
but
and
what's really
important, piss off as well.
What's really important, as you will know, into what level you can enter is down to your facility.
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you know what I mean? And we're someone who haven't even got a home ground. Do you know what I mean? On a Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's something we have to figure out.
Mentioned obviously like the identity of the Dons being like this very masculine club. Like flipping on its head, would you ever have a women's team?
100%.
And what would that look like? Would it be
100%.
the same mentality, the same sort of everything?
It'd be the Donettes,
It'd be the Donettes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it'd be the Donettes, and we'd want them to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's our thing. We'd want them to be the best. And we've spoken about the women's thing. That's something we really want
What's
to get
really
into.
interesting about that, because I'm like obviously a massive women's convert. Like I like love it. There's a lot of things I actually prefer in women's football actually.
Yeah.
But your way of doing things would be even more standoutish in women's football. Because women's football is very family like orientated. That's probably why I resonate with it, because it makes my life so easy with the sort of content we make.
Yeah.
Like the way they talk to the ref is like unbelievably nicer
Like,
than the men's game.
Yeah.
You have loads of kids at games and stuff. Like all the clubs push it.
Yeah.
Even the clubs that have massive men's teams, they almost do these like family tickets and all this sort of thing. Like, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I actually think it'd be really interesting to see if the Donettes come in with the Dons mentality in women's football. Like, it makes so many enemies.
Go on, run them down.
It could be unreal.
Get our ball back.